What is up, guys? DZ here, and this past Sunday, I got my first invite of the season. It was the second regional that I entered. I went to the Garden City Regional 2 weeks ago with a deck very similar to my UDS build. I ended up losing the last round and getting 50th place with the top 48 getting invites. So I'm a scrub, but I went to this regional, and yeah, there was a lot of fun things that happened, but I didn't go like big group or anything. But overall, it was a good event. I went 7-2. I played a lot of different decks, mainly just meta though. I'll post my record in my round sort of win loss ratio in the description. But I played Phantom Knight Zombies. I'll kind of talk about some of the choices I made. It's different from the UDS, both conceptually and in the list. The biggest difference being there's no Brilliant Fusion, which I'll kind of talk about. But anyway, let's get right into it. And this was the first weekend that ABCs were legal, obviously, and they kind of dominated all the regionals. But anyway, we played 3 Cloak. He's really cool. 3 Boots, obviously, and 3 Gloves. The standard Phantom Knights. I really wanted to play the level 4 Phantom Knight. I think it's Fragile Armor. The one, he's level 4 and you can banish him to discard a Phantom Knight and draw a card. There were 2 times where it came up where like I had one of these engraved and really needed to send the level 4 guy. But he was like the 45th card, and I just ended up not playing him last minute. I wouldn't say I regret that necessarily, because I think I still won the games where I would have used it, so I don't think he's super necessary. For the zombies, 3 Solitaire, 2 Unizombie, 2 Mizuki. So I did about 100 test hands with sort of a more standard version of Phantom Knights, which is playing Gofu and Mass Change second instead of these guys. I did not like it. I can say that. The deck just... The ceiling is a lot lower when you play those cards, mainly because like when you play these cards, you can just like keep going. Like the Mizuki is just like one of the dumbest cards in the deck by far. And having a 1 card Omega just like helps a lot. I will say these aren't very good going second, or at least Solitaire isn't. I usually side 1 or 2 Solitaire out. Against ABCs, you pretty much just side all of these out going second, because Omega is a good card still, but going second, it's kind of bad, especially against ABCs. Doesn't really do anything. Buster can just like fuck it up in the standby phase. So I didn't like these cards going second against ABCs at all. But yeah, they're still good. Still definitely better than the other ones. Sorry, I have like a cold. That's why I'm sniffly. But anyway, we played 3 Terratop and a Tech Tomborg. Those cards are good. I draw this card like it's my job, honestly. Terratop is just, it's really great. So 2 Max C for the hand traps, and then 2 of the Dark Kaiju. I don't think you need to play anything other than Gamma Seal in a normal deck. I don't think the Blue Eyes interaction comes up enough to where like you Kaiju them and you just can't deal with the Gamma Seal. But yeah, this guy's cool because you can banish him for a lore. Because the problem with Gamma Seals in this deck is that if you like open them going first, you like can't do anything. So I wanted a dark to banish for a lore, and that came up a lot. The reason there's no Brilliant Fusion in this deck is because there's no lights in here, you have to play 4 targets for Brilliant Fusion. You have to play 2 lights and 2 garnets, just to not fuck up desires. So you're actually more likely to draw the targets than you are the Brilliant Fusions. Drawing Trick Clown is perfectly fine. Trick Clown is like the only one that's fine to draw, because you can still like combo with Omega. Trick Clown uses Zombie as an Omega. But mainly destroying like Fairy Tale Snow every game is really bad. Drawing Garnet is really bad. Just the math wasn't there for a longer tournament. I would say that I auto won almost every game I drew Brilliant Fusion at the Garden City Regional, but I also auto lost a bunch of games to drawing Garnet, multiple Garnet to like Brilliant Fusions that are dead, or like just the math isn't there. I don't know if I'm just done with Brilliant Fusion, but I just didn't want to play for this event, and I don't really regret it at all. It does affect the explosiveness in the first turn, but in the long run, I think it was the best choice. Because all the decks right now are like really consistent, so you need to be consistent. For the spells, we're playing 3 Desires. I hear that card is pretty good. 3 Lore. This card is obviously insane especially in this deck, this card is just like the biggest combo enabler. Honestly, I'd rather draw lower than Desires most of the time. Just for the fact that banishing cards is just ridiculous, especially against anything where you're gonna have to play through back row, because then you can banish like Unizombie and you can like kickstart Levier plays. Or is this really good? Yeah, this deck's really good at playing through back row, honestly. I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, 2 DDR. I wanted to play 3, but I had to cut it down to 44 cards. There's really nothing beyond what I've cut to cut. But yeah, 2 DDR, just because it kind of clogs if you're playing more. I tried 3 for a little bit. I even played 3 at the Garden City Regional, but 2 just seemed to work just fine. An addition I made was Instant Fusion. This was kind of a card that does a lot of the same things that Brilliant Fusion does without any of the drawbacks, really. It's taking up an extra deck spot instead of 7 main deck spots. But yeah, I mean, it sort of gives you an extra normal summon. I use it to make Dweller a lot. One of the best plays, or one of the coolest plays I made was actually drawing the second one of these and then using Omega to put the Norden back and then Instant Fusion the Norden a second time. That was pretty cool. But Instant Fusion was definitely fantastic. You don't really need it in games 2 and 3 if you're going second, but going first, it's definitely just makes your combos more explosive. I played 1 Twin Twisters. I didn't want to play more than 3 cards that required you to discard. This deck doesn't... I lost some games in the Garden City Regional. I was playing 2 Twin Twisters and 3 DDR. Just for the fact that I would just like open too many of them, and that's not very good. So I just want to play 1 Twin Twisters. It worked just fine. This deck can push through back row really easily. One of the rounds that you'll see in the little round by round analysis in the description is that I played against Majespecters, and all 3 games he opened Ties of Brother in set 5. And I played through that with only 1 Twin Twisters. Just fine, honestly. So yeah, I would say you don't need more than 1 Twin Twisters. 1 Roto, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Foolish. These are just kind of sacky one-ofs. I didn't draw Soul Charge very much, but I did draw Foolish quite a bit. Foolish is good too for Senna Mizuki. For the traps, we played 3 Fogblade, 2 Strike, 1 Emptiness. Emptiness is actually just like stupid. I don't know why I wasn't playing that at the UDS. I lost games to people just flipping Emptiness and me losing, and I won games by flipping Emptiness and people losing. So I don't know if this card should be banned or something. I feel like that's the stereotypical thing to say about Emptiness, but I like it. It's good. And you can make some pretty big boards and just sit on it. So anyway, yeah, 44 cards in the main. For the extra, we're playing 3 Levier. Levier is really good. Obviously, it's just one of the cards that just keeps you going. I went through 3 of these quite a bit. 3 Breaksword. This card gets even better. Yeah, I'm really excited for this deck going forward with the new the Quick Play Rank Up Magic card. I think that makes this deck a lot more versatile. It might even eliminate the need for Omega just entirely, but 3 Breaksword just for pushing through that back row. It's also a floater. There were 2 different times where I would like summon this, and then they would run it over on their turn, but they couldn't get over level 4 monsters. And then when my turn started, I would make like a Castel, because you can only summon dark monsters the rest of the turn when you use the effect. But if the monsters survive a turn, you can actually use them for whatever monster you need them to. There was one case where somebody ran this over and left one of the level 4 monsters to like screw me up or whatever. And then I just like summoned a Unizombie, made it level 4, and then made Omega. That was pretty funny. I also played 2 Dante. Yeah, I went into 2 quite a bit, honestly. So I would still play 2. 1 Dweller, 1 Dark Rebellion. Made this guy a lot. 1 Castel, still pretty good. And then 1 F-Zero. I almost wanted 2 of these. He's just so good. Just so annoying for a lot of decks to get over. So I like him a lot. We also played the 1 Norden, obviously. And then just 2 Omega. I honestly didn't really make the second one. The second one... there's my cat. The second one really only comes up when you have like Brilliant Fusion. So I can't say I made 2 very often. It just wasn't necessary. But I would still play 2 because you do make it sometimes. For the side deck, 2 Ghost Trooper, never drew this card ever, but that's pretty good. 2 Gamma Seal. This comes up, especially I played against Paleozoics, and they have whatever the barrier statue guy is, and you can Gamma Seal it, but you can't raid in it. I was also playing an Interrupted Kaiju Summer, so I wanted to play a different Kaiju. I don't think I need to play this card anymore. I never sided into it. I sided into the Gamma Seals a lot, But like the fields that you're like kaijuing, like this doesn't do anything against. And like the idea is that you like dark hole them, and then you could like put it back with a mega and like search another kaiju. But like it just doesn't happen, honestly. So I don't think I need to play that card anymore. 3 system down. Card's pretty good against ABCs. This is so like the kaijus aren't super great against like good ABC players, but system down is sort of like an unavoidable thing. I don't know if I need to play 3. I usually only side into 2 because there's so many things I'm siding into. But definitely like a blowout against the good ABC players. 2 Twin Twisters for back row decks. 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. I don't think I ever said on this, honestly. I honestly never draw this card. It's really tough. I always banish it off of Desires. But it's there. Pendulums are really tough for this deck, so I played it, but it's whatever. 1 Silent Strike. It actually is just so good against Pendulums that I wanted to side it. So yeah, it's also pretty good against ABCs going first. A lot of times they just like super minus and then just make a buster to sort of compensate. And then you just strike it and then they kind of lose. So, and it's also really good against the gadgets because they just summon one of them, use their effect, you strike it, they don't get the graveyard effect. It's just total blowout. And sometimes it just stops their play entirely. And then just 1 Buster Dragon for the cherries. Yeah, I mean, cherries can also hit Dante. But like there was like no BA at the event, honestly. I played like against 1 BA. 1 BA Infernoid. I didn't draw cherries. I don't believe I did, at least. I did like super late. I like banished Levier just to get the cherries in the graveyard. But cherries is kind of cool because you can revive it with Mizuki. That came up at the Garden City Regional a lot. But anyway, yeah, this deck's really cool. I still like it. I'm a sucker for Phantom Knights. Honestly, it was a lot of fun to play. I don't know what I'll play going forward, but the metagame is kind of crazy right now. But hopefully enjoy the deck profile. I think I made enough changes from the UDS to actually update you. Because the problem with the Garden City one was that I didn't feel like I made enough worthwhile changes. And even though like I tested a lot of like other things, like I really like want Gofu to work. Gofu's like one of my favorite cards, but I just can't make it work in this deck. It just isn't consistent enough. It isn't explosive enough. Just doesn't do enough. But hopefully you guys enjoy the deck profile, like I said, and I will see you later.